Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Bernard. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone's Best Business Review. I'm Paulette. Welcome to an amazing weekend edition of Brownstone's Best here in the Brownstone. Today, we have an opportunity to speak to someone from the music industry that's been around for a while. And I reached out to this gentleman so that we could talk a little bit about this business of music, what it's all about, what he's doing currently, and some tips and tricks that maybe you can use from his experience in the entertainment industry. We're going to be talking to John Jay today, all the way from the Bronx. He's one of the best kept secrets in underground hip hop that you guys may not have heard about, and you may have because he's also on Spotify. Now, this passionate MC rocks the mic with a unique style reminiscent of the 90s era golden age. He flows mixes with a new twist, heavy, meaningful lyrics, and a powerful delivery. Now, listen up, folks. Listen to this. He's inspired by some of the greats like Tupac, Nas, Joe Budden, AZ, and Jay-Z. John Jay is a force to be reckoned with, one any real hip-hop head should be following closely. So let's go ahead and bring up Mr. John Jay to the Brownstone, the virtual Brownstone, that is. How are you today, sir?
All right. Thank you for having me on this COVID-style interview. Not a problem.
I'm so glad that you could be here. And like I said, if I were in New York, you're in New York, is that right? So if you are,
Correct,
then
the Bronx.
I would love, you're in the Bronx. I would love to interview you sitting on the Bronx steps. However, I am in Atlanta, and so we got to make it do what it do. So listen, John Jay, first of all, whenever I hear that name, it gives me R&B singer, right? So it's the first thing that I think of, but you're hip hop, and I've actually heard and watched some of your performances. So let's reel it back just a little bit, right? How in the world did you get started in entertainment, in music?
Well, I've been making music since I was like a young kid. I actually wrote my first song, I think I was like 5 or 6, and I wrote like a song to sing to a girl that lived upstairs to me, and I was terrible. It was horrible. So I'm like, okay, I can't sing. So instead I started writing poems, like love notes. So it started from there. Then around 13 years old, I wanted to rap. But I always said to myself, I don't have enough life experience, and this was a fact. I'm like, what am I going to rap about? So I had to wait. And finally, by the time I hit like 18, 19, I had enough stories to tell. And I actually started doing it, and I finally had a computer. I know this, I sound like a dinosaur, but I did not have a computer until I was like 19, 20. And I'm like, oh, wow, I can download instrumentals and just rap to it. Like, it started from there.
Okay. And so you've you've worked with so many different folks, and you've performed as well. And like I said, I've seen videos and I've seen interviews where you've been moving around. I want to talk about, if we can, since this is about business and the business of music is a thing. One of the things that we talked about briefly before we started the recording was talking about how interesting the business can be. I think that's a nice word for me to say. So when you first started recording and going into studios, and was your radar on? Were you aware of some of the interesting things that were happening in the industry, or did you?
No, I was blind. Yeah, no, I was blind.
Okay. So what was that like for you? Did people see you and say, "Oh, this kid, he doesn't know anything, right? This is like, we're just gonna get him for all of his money."
Well, at first, when I was younger, like this is a whole different world back then. If a club like you, they would just tell you, yeah, come and perform. It's good for
Right.
their business, right? You bring your
Right.
friends, they're buying drinks, they're buying food, it's revenue.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they started changing it everywhere, where now you have to buy your own tickets and go sell those tickets at a higher price. So you keep some of it, give the rest of that back to them, and then you
Right.
can perform. So that was like the
Mm.
start of starting to scam everybody with that type of stuff.
Yeah. And so I think we're seeing a lot more of that starting to come back to the fold. It's just that they've gotten so much more advanced with it, I think, because I think back to when I was in the music industry, and even before, it was a thing to pay people to play your songs, to pay people to get you to perform, and they called that payola back in the day, right? And so now, like I was telling you earlier, now they have people say, "Well, vote for me and go over to this website, and when you vote for me, then pay $1 or pay $5 or pay $10, and that'll put me in the running." Whether or not, no, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you
it's
have
just
talent or not.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just making the company money. Yeah, even
it's making the
Universal. If
company money.
you want to, blank that out in the interview,
Yeah.
I'm saying the name Universal. I was having meetings with them about 2 years ago,
Ah,
and I was like, it was over Zoom too, because the whole COVID situation, or 3 years ago,
mhm,
excuse me. And they're like, okay, give us a song, we're gonna review it, and then we have a deal for you. They'll give me XYZ. First, it was
mhm.
50,000 just to give them one of my songs. They own it.
Yeah.
I take 50,000 up front. Now that
Mhm.
song's dated. That song's dated. Send us another one. But every time I gave them another one, they wanted $20 to review it. Yep. They kept saying everything's dated, and then I finally did a song with Exhibit. I never even gave them that song. They just heard it on their own. And they're like, "Yo, that one, we'll give you 10,000 for it." I'm like, "With Exhibit, you're gonna give me 10,000
Wow.
and own it? No, absolutely no, absolutely not."
No.
Yeah, yeah, it's just, it's dirty. It's real dirty.
Jeez, you're kidding me. See that and payola was deemed illegal years ago, right? And but they have found so many different ways, methodical ways to get around it. And payola was really for radio stations. Like, radio stations couldn't take money, the DJs couldn't. You just played whatever the label sent. And now the radio stations are owned by the labels. But so I heard you say Exhibit, and so popular hip hop artist, still around. So who else have you worked with, and how in the world did you end up working with Exhibit?
Ano Domini. Tell you short, he's a multi-million platinum producer. So he
Yeah.
hooked me up with Crooked Eye. He hooked me up with Exhibit and
Uh,
Royce the 5'9". Dragon and Keith Murray, I reached out to on myself.
Wait a minute. Wait. So you reached out to these people yourself.
Yeah.
Now, the stigma in the music industry is that you just don't reach out to people. They have somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. What in the world did you do?
Well, actually, with Keith Murray and Dragon, on Instagram, you can see who's watching your stories. They both
Yes.
kept watching my stories, and like, let me just go for it. Let me just ask.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they answered. They answered. So that was the good thing.
Okay. So you went out and you said, okay. So what I'm hearing you say, social media, you utilized it. Okay. And the reason why I'm asking these questions the way that I am is because it's important for people that are interested in being in the music industry, for them to understand that things are different. There is no more, I need a record deal. There is no more, I need an A&R representative to find me in order for
Yeah, but
me
now
to. Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but now you need a perfect algorithm. So today I can put up
Mm.
a little short, and it gets like 10 likes and 20 views.
Yeah.
One
Mhm.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, I got like 1,000 in an hour. I'm like, what happened
Really?
here? Yeah,
So there are those differences. And so your career could be made or broken with an algorithm that you don't control.
exactly. You can have the best song in the world. If no one hears it,
If no one hears it,
yeah,
that's interesting because where is everybody? They're on social media. So we have what? TikTok, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we have what is it? Lemonade now, and then there's X, and then there's all of these other platforms, and then of course the music platforms like SoundCloud, like you said, Spotify, then there's Apple, and there's all of these other platforms. So you have to, am I hearing you say use it, but you also have other places that you are as well, right? So like the one or two videos that I did actually sit down, I literally watched the whole thing, right after you booked the interview, and I saw that you physically went to establishments
yeah.
and performed, and then you were interviewed as well, right? So am I hearing you also say get from behind the computer, get from behind your phone, and go into physical establishments to have yourself seen? Do you
Oh, of
think that
course,
that's as
yeah.
important or relevant as it was back then, or is it different because of this new algorithm?
Absolutely, yeah, especially for local fans, it's
Hmm.
good for that.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So you should be
Okay.
doing that. Besides just online, because especially online right now, whatever's going on with those algorithms, they have people at the top, and everybody sees that first. And if they
Yeah.
scroll long enough, that's when they finally see it. You know,
But the problem is that the way that it's set up and the way the human brain is set up, we're only sticking around for about 3 to 5 seconds anyway.
attention spans. Yeah,
So
it's so short to be these days. Yeah,
yeah, the attention span is so short and it's so bad. But if a song is really good, we're going to stick around for that. So you worked with Exhibit. Keith Murray finally reached out, and I forgot the other person's name. So
oh,
you just
Dragon.
Dragon. Okay, so you reached out to these folks. So what happened after that? Was it just show up? Did you have to pay them? How did that happen?
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah. All major artists they want a down payment. There's two ways of doing it. You can pay them up front, or you can split
Hmm.
the rights with it. But if they don't know you like that, they don't think, hey, this guy's gonna make $1 million. They don't want to split
Hmm.
anything. You just
Hmm.
pay him a fee for their verse, and you own it. So that's cool because
Hmm.
now if I make $1 million from it, he gets nothing else.
He gets
So
nothing else.
yeah,
Oh,
so that's the way that works. You know?
wow. And so you had the contracts and all of that. Now, so okay, because see now I'm fully invested. I got questions. And folks, if I were you and you had your pen and your paper, I would absolutely be writing this down. Legalities. Did you have to do contracts and all of that? Did you have to hire
Yeah.
an attorney and do all the things?
Oh no, I didn't have to hire any attorneys. The stuff that goes on with Anno that he handles, that's all
Mhm.
contracted, everything like that. With Keith
Mhm.
Murray and me and Dragon, there was no contract. We just did it. Like,
Really?
yeah, we just did it.
Wow.
But that's the way
Okay.
it works. We had the verbal agreement and email and
Mhm.
stuff like that too. So
Mhm.
that is, kind of proof. Like, hey, I'm paying
Mhm.
you this. You give me this verse. Blah blah blah. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So when we're talking about being an artist today, because it sounds like you're in this space still. One of the things that I really like is the fact that we can still find you. So you become an evergreen artist. You never know with the way that the algorithms are now, whether or not a song that you created maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago or last week could become viral and still make you money.
Oh yeah, you want to
So,
talk about that one? I have a song called
yes.
No Better. Yeah, I have a song
Uh-huh.
called No Better. Did 8 million plays on YouTube Music, not YouTube the video site, but YouTube Music.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
even notice. I found it by accident. I've never been paid for it. So I reached out to my distributor. They're like, oh, well, we never got reports. I'm like, I'm looking at the numbers.
Right.
So they're blaming YouTube, and the only way I could win that is getting a lawyer that's going to cost me thousands, and that's exactly probably what they owe me. It's not that much
Right.
money in streaming.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Get out of here. That is crazy.
And that's
So,
not just that song. There's multiple songs in the hundreds of millions that I
mhm,
have not been
mhm.
paid for. You got to see. I can
Okay,
show you some of these records. It's crazy. You know?
that's insane. So when you have situations like that, the other question that I have is do you have to, after you write the song and it's copyrighted, you go through the Library of Congress, do all the things you're supposed to do? and you have this song that's out there and it's digital now. First of all, we know that they're not paying the same kind of royalties that they used to do back in the day. We used to live off of royalties for real. Now you'll be lucky if you can pay the mortgage for the month off of just one song. But let's say
ridiculous. Yeah,
it is. Do you have to register each song with a separate, like you said, it was YouTube Music? Do you have to register that and whatever pay or clearinghouse that the money goes
you
through?
should, but you don't really have to do it all the time because me, I have my own studio, so I don't pay for any studio time anymore, stuff like that. So all my sessions, the recorded sessions showing the work as it's broken down, is a copyright because it's all dated. I have this like, hey, look, I built this myself on this date.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can use that legally. You could use that. So that is. Remember they used to call it the old man's copyright.
The old man's
poor man's copyright. The poor man's copyright. You used to be able to mail it to yourself, but now my session files are a copyright. Yeah,
it's your copyright. Yeah. So the registration, you do that, and then the clearinghouse. So I'm going to give you an example. So say for instance, songs that I have written, I had to register them through. I was with ASCAP at the time. Did you have to do that? Is it different now? It's been so long, and that's how I'm paid, is through ASCAP, right? And then with my stage name, then I'm paid through another agency. And so for each one, I had to register. And it's kind of and here's what's interesting. I found that there are more clearinghouses. A friend of mine was telling me they're still in the industry, and she goes, you probably still have money out there. So here's the other thing that I've learned too, John, is that if it is older than 4 years old, 9 times out of 10, they will not be able to go back and help you recoup those dollars.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Because that one song I'm talking about, that's 8 million, was about 5 years old. I'm like, yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, it was 5.
Wow. Now
it was right when COVID dropped.
Yeah, I would still try though. I would definitely look into it. There was a couple of agencies that I knew about.
I kept going back and forth with my distributor. I could tell they were using ChatGPT to respond to me. So I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, write me this. I tell them my words. Okay, they want to be all slick like this. So I was doing the same shit back and forth.
Wow. So so first of all, we have to trust our distributors. Because people, here's the unfortunate part about the music industry that still, I think, holds true, is we are still artists. We are still sensitive about our ish. And I think there is a part of us that regardless, we still want our music and our art to be heard and have people be impacted by that. But there's also a part of us as creators, and as music creators, be it hip hop or whatever, who understands that took time, energy, effort, and you should be paid for that.
And money, I got to pay for the beat, everything,
Yeah. So when you're paying for everything, you're putting everything together, and you have talent, like you have talent. It sounds really good. It's catchy. You're 8 million views in. There are those people who will wait for the opportunity to get you when you are young and you are naive, and they will take and they will lie. And I don't understand that, right? So when I sit back and I think about the money that I've lost, how does that make you feel knowing? And let's just keep it 100. It's just me and you. How does that make you feel knowing 9 times out of 10, if that is your distributor who made sure that got dispersed, then the monetary disbursements are somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's aggravating because there is records of some of these plays that my distributor is showing that I haven't been paid for. Like me and my friend King, we have this one song did like 2 million, something like that. We got a $10.50 split, so we both got $10 each. But it says 2 million plays. Where's the rest of the money? So when I questioned them all about this, well, not everything's reported correctly, but you have the numbers on your side.
Yeah.
Okay, you say that the YouTube Music didn't report this, which is true. In my records, there is no YouTube Music 8 million, but this one does say it on your records. Where's the rest of the money? You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. There's so much that we could go down the rabbit hole on when it comes to music. Um, would you say, knowing what you know now in terms of performing and all of that, would you do it again?
No. No.
Oh my.
No. Well, I never wanted to make music a career. I just love music. And it just became one by accident, kind of. Like, you know?
That is a first. I have never heard anyone say no. So
Yeah, no, I
it was
wouldn't do it again.
you wouldn't do it again. Okay. So would you
I'll still
say
make music. I'll still make music, but not look at it as like, oh, this is gonna be a career. Because
this is
now when
going to
I
be
know
a
all the
career?
ins and outs,
Gotcha.
yeah, like nah, it's too
Nah.
much.
Okay.
Crooked Eye
So
told me when I was doing, I did 3 songs with Crooked Eye. First it was
uh-huh.
through Anna Domini, but then me and him started speaking on our own, and we did 2 more songs. And he's like,
Yeah.
dude, never sign a record deal. It's a big trap. It's a big loan.
Listen.
Why do you think there's so many one-hit wonders? They all this money back. They're stuck working for free, and then they're
Yep.
gone. So I'm like, all right, I'll stay independent. But now I see it's hard independent too because we don't have the same marketing dollars as a big record label
Exactly.
does. Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's catch 22.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So what advice would you give to those folks who want to get into music or to produce music? What can you tell these folks out here?
Well, same way I was told, stay independent, try to
Mhm,
promote it all yourself. But this is what
mhm.
one thing I did not listen to. You will need a team. You do need a team. Because I was
Yeah.
doing everything myself, from the
Hmm.
album covers to the promoting to the
Yeah.
buying ads to
Uh-huh.
making the music. And
Yeah.
again, goes back to Crooked Eye, King Crooked now he
Hmm.
calls himself. He's like, dude, that's only gonna last so long. You're gonna get burnt out.
Hmm.
Your job is just to make the music and have everybody else handle it for you. I'm like, but I don't have enough money for that right now. So that's the
Right.
problem.
Right.
You need startup money. That's really what it
Yeah.
is.
Right. So you're not saying loans or anything like that, but what you're saying is don't quit your day job.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay. No, yeah, yeah. Well, I actually did. My situation was different though, because I couldn't tour and work at the same time. But yeah, I would 100% agree with you. What other pieces of advice would you give folks? Because I think with the advent of the internet, people think that everything should happen virtually with just your phone, and that's not true.
No, it's not.
That's not true.
Like
So,
like the example I brought up before. I used to put up a video, just a little quick short, a
mhm,
1,000 views in an hour. Now it's like
mhm,
20 views. It's like, well,
mhm.
you got to fight
Yeah.
that algorithm now. Yeah.
Right, you do, and the industry has changed so much. Like you said, you don't really need, and I think Soldier Boy kind of kicked that off a little bit. We started to see more and more people go independent after that because if he could say Soldier Boy, tell him, and everybody lose their mind over a TikTok song or whatever it was at the time. I think it was Instagram or whatever it was, and his career has been okay ever since. So we're looking at different things. And now here you are at this different phase in your life where you're saying you're going to always make music, but it's not something that you would ever consider as a career.
No.
What, as an independent artist, how has that impacted what you do now as a career?
Meaning? What do you mean?
I think one of the things that I have found is most people that I have built relationships with who are in music don't find themselves clocking into anybody else's job full time because they just don't know it's not fluid enough for them,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
So what are some of the things that you do now that kind of help to give you the I guess the still the fluidity that you need? Because I think as an artist there will always be that option in your head, like I still need to be able to move around as I want to.
Gig work. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't be stuck in the office, so I do gig work.
Yeah,
Work that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So gig work is what you do. Okay, very good. Now where can we find you as we wrap up?
Uh, John J 506, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but I don't use Twitter anymore. That's my
Mhm,
old account got banned. I was hacked, and they said some
mhm.
racist stuff under my name. This is the funny part. You want to hear this? Somebody hacked my account and started talking racist stuff about white people. Paula, Paulette, excuse me. I'm Italian, an Italian rapper. On top of it, right? Twitter
Ah,
banned me for life for multiple accounts because that account under my account,
yeah. Uh-huh.
and then talking racism. Like I've emailed them. I'm like, dude, I'm an Italian rapper who
Yeah,
who lives in the Bronx. That's around every nationality in the world on my same
exactly.
block. Like, what are
Right,
you talking about? But they didn't want to
right.
hear it. Banned for life. So I had to make a new one. So it's John J 5066, but it's dead. I got like 100 followers. It's nothing.
Okay.
My other one, I had like 15,000 people on there following me, but that took me years. I didn't get that in like
Yeah.
a month. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That was a few
Right.
years.
Right. Right. So therein lies, I think the other issue is, I know that we can find you on Spotify.
Oh yeah, of
John
course. All
John Jay,
stores.
you're there.
All stores.
And all where else can we find you as well? Hang on,
All
just
all there's like 26 stores I'm in. So Apple,
yeah,
iTunes,
here we
Napster. That's actually a real paid place now. All that stuff.
go.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. Because
No, it's true. It's
if
actually a
you're
real store now.
because if you're old enough, you remember Napster.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. Oh, everything's got to be copyrighted and so forth, right? So yeah. So do you have any other last words for everyone before we wrap up and let you go about your beautiful Saturday today? Any words of advice or wisdom for those people that want to have a go at being a part of music or entertainment?
Yeah, take it slow and in your own pace. Again, don't quit your day job, like you
Yeah.
brought up earlier, and don't fall for all the tricks. Like as you brought up with the voting, having to pay to vote. 'Cause that's really going to the company that's doing that. All the
Yeah.
clubs that want you to buy your own tickets, like that's not the way it's supposed to be. Sure, if you want to get a little name, do it once or twice.
Yeah.
That's fine. But
Yeah.
otherwise, don't make that your career of spending money that you're not making. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Especially on
Exactly.
streaming platforms. You get like a point zero 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 seven
Yeah.
cent on a play. I mean, that is ridiculous. Like,
Exactly. Woo, boy, that hurts too. Because, like I said, that's really changed. But a lot of that changed because it's not the record label and the artist. Now it's the artist and the platform.
the
So
platform becomes your record label, seems like.
there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. It becomes, and they're taking the bulk of the money because
They're
you're
like
using.
they're like Suge. Oh my God, they're taking everything.
Oh, they're taking everything. You're right. You're right. And so the artist really, really feels that ache. And maybe we'll see a change to that, especially as more and more folks are learning how to create their own platforms and so forth. And like you said, AI is here, and you really don't need what you really need is, like you said, is to really, because it sounds like to me, to hear you talk, you're an artist and you love what you do. You just love
Absolutely.
it. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
All
What I think I'm
right.
gonna do from now on, Suno. I think
Uh,
everybody knows about Suno now. You actually have
yeah.
the option to upload a whole audio file. So I actually been testing it by 1 minute clips and throw my songs in
Hey,
there,
how's it
and
going?
it redoes my song in a whole different voice, whole different style, whatever you want to tell it. And I'm like, yo, this is actually amazing. So I actually could use this and upload that stuff to my stores already and just saying, hey, John
Yeah.
J. Version. And
I
it's
mean, it wouldn't be
yeah,
alive. Yeah.
it's a whole new sound to my
Yeah.
song. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I said I was going to try it out. I'm definitely going to try it and stop trying to get in the studio and do everything myself. That's a
Definitely.
problem. That's a problem. All right, folks. Thank you so much, John Jay, for coming to hang out with us. Stick around, and we'll just chat for a few minutes afterwards. I want to thank you once again for coming to hang out with us here in the
No
virtual
problem.
Brownstone. Guys, go ahead and check us out at brownstoneworldwide.com. We also have Cityscape Radio for sound you'll remember and podcasts you'll enjoy. And don't forget always Brownstone Living Magazine. Thank you again, John Jay, for hanging out with us today,
Thank you for
folks.
having me.
We'll see you around.